Hello, my name is Victoria and you're watching Plantastics. Today we're going to be preparing to go on vacation or a trip. One of the things that you really have to worry about whenever you're going to be away from your plants for a while is watering. It seems like that's really the only thing that I've been able to see as like a problem. I'm not going to have anybody over while I'm away, not a plant sitter or anything. So I'm really focusing on making sure that my plants all have had a nice drink before I leave, and this should last for the next 2 weeks. So I have the aquarium water and I also have rainwater that I collect. The larger plants that don't have the plant nannies, which you'll see later, they go into my sink and I basically just bottom water them, and I'll also pour water in from the top. And this does take a while. I do let them sit for like an hour or two, and it really works out well because while I'm doing that, I'm filling up all of the other containers because a lot of my plants have these self-watering containers where it's just a wick and it has a water reservoir at the bottom. So while these are soaking, I'm going to be doing and refilling those because those will last like a week and a half. And once they dry up, the water reservoirs on the self-watering containers, it's really not a big deal because they can last probably another week without water in the bottom. So here are all the plants that needed a drink. I would like to advise you, if you are interested in just only watering plants when they need it, like a watering schedule is cool. It's really great to check on a schedule, but I wouldn't advise you watering all of your plants at the same time because their needs are going to vary. It depends on basically the amount of roots that they have and your media and basically the type of plant, how big it is, how root bound it is. There are so many variables that can increase or decrease your watering frequency. So that's why it's really important to monitor all of your plants on a weekly basis, but you don't want to water them when they don't need it. So here are some of my plants, and some of them are kind of dry at the top of like the top inch of soil. So here you can see the line on some of these. They don't need water. And this is because these plants are kind of smaller. They haven't developed their root system. They've been repotted less than a month ago. They're part of this Linden Lion unboxing. So they're doing well, like they're growing really well, but they are just not sucking up water like the ones that are blooming. Like when an African violet's blooming, I've experienced them needing more water than they did before they were blooming, and that's just my experience. Begonias also, they just need a little bit more water. Now, when I'm pouring this water in from the top, I personally know that they're not going to just be sitting in water. The top inch is dry, so that's just enough to get them like what they need. And here is a Hoya, and that is basically taking care of all of these plants on this shelf. The fun thing is trying to figure out how I had them arranged and trying to put them back just like I had them. Here's a string of hearts. These have really shallow roots, so even if you have them in a large pot, they might just need a shallow watering like I'm doing here with this mister. This is honestly my favorite air plant holder. It looks so cool. Okay, so going on to the next one. So I don't water the Calathea or the Tenanthe here because they've been watered recently. I watered them probably like 4 or 5 days ago, so they're good. Here is my lavender, Suncoast Lavender Silk, I think is what it is. And it is growing really well. It was just a propagation that I traded or purchased online. And this just needs a very, very nice little sip of water because it's not completely dry. Something that you may want to consider is having air plants as almost like a companion to ferns. Because ferns need so much water, It's really nice because you're going to be misting the air plants, so they both benefit, and you don't have to buy air plant holders. What I do with my air plants is I really just kind of put them in with the plants that I already have, and they seem to be working out pretty well with this. I'm misting them to where they turn green, and it's kind of easy to see. Hopefully you can see it kind of right now. It's more green than it is white, and that's just what they need. These have really tiny little leaves on these air plants, so they dry out pretty quickly, so I have to mist them fairly often. This is the top section. These are stronger lights, and these plants honestly really didn't need that much water. The Hoya was good. The begonia could use a little spritz just because it is a growing girl and she is beautiful. Look at that pink sun stressing. I love it. Maurice Amy, love it. If it doesn't get enough light though, it does stay silver, so just keep that in mind. The clear containers are great because you can see this plant doesn't need water. Like, it's been watered recently. And I'm excited because this literally grew from a corm and has gotten so large. Like, if you look at some of my older videos, you can see how small it used to be. This is a snow globe from Target. It was $5, and honestly, I couldn't think of anything more winter or cute themed. I have a shot glass here with a Darth Vaderina hybrid, and it is a rooted propagation. And I'm just topping these off because the only thing that really had happened when I've been on vacation is I've lost a propagation, and I lost an alocasia African mask, one of the poly ones. I lost it, and I almost lost my Jacqueline alocasia last time I went on vacation because it was much smaller, and the smaller the pot is and the more you run your air conditioner, the quicker they dry out because the air conditioner is just like taking and snatching all the water from the air. And that also means from your like flowers and plants and whatnot. So the trick to getting this back on there is to not catch one of the leaves because it'll make it fall out of the water. So here is my super sleepy dog. We went for a really nice walk and she is tired. So here is a self-watering container as well, and it's full, so it doesn't need any water. I'm just going to show you the roots real quick so you can kind of see. These roots are black, but they're perfectly healthy. Root color can be very dependent on what species or genus. So here I'm checking on some of the other plants. This baby, she needs some water, so she's going to go sit in the sink with her friends. And then this peace lily, of course, it needs water. It's dry. You can't really tell because the soil is kind of dark, but it's pretty dry. And I don't want to lose it. It's a platinum one, so it's kind of special. I haven't really seen many of them. This Stramanthe Trio Star is fine. Because this one's so large, this Trio Star, I really don't like to bottom water it just because it's so heavy. This Melanochrysum I ended up watering. So here is the Peace Lily. Here's a plant nanny like I mentioned earlier, and it just has a terracotta spike, and this water bottle basically allows it to have the perfect amount of water. Like, it's not going to drown your plant. So if you're going on vacation and you have some larger plants that are really thirsty, you can fill these up and put them. I use them continuously, like throughout the year. So I just have to make extra careful sure that they're all full, because if not, I could lose this peace lily because it's so thirsty all the time. So that's pretty much it. I'll see you next time.